I'd like to introduce you to Liz. Liz is 15, and every day she comes home from school to an empty house and has junk food. She has Hot Pocket, cup of noodles, or some frozen snack. Then she goes to her neighborhood park to hang out with her friends. It's not that safe, but Liz does it anyway, because her mom's not there to tell her not to. Liz's mom works 2 jobs and is raising a teen on her own in Los Angeles. She has a $300 food budget for the month, and she regularly has to ask herself, are we going to eat healthy, or are we going to eat it all? She doesn't have a car, so she can't take the 30-minute drive to Trader Joe's. Whole Foods is too expensive, so it is just out of the question. But this is where Reinventing Integrative Cooking Opportunities, or RICO, steps in. RICO is designed, operated, and led by a group of undergraduate CSUN students. We teach local teens in Sun Valley, Pacoima, and Compton how to cook and eat healthy meals. We work with Class Parks and Gang Reduction Youth Development Foundation to teach our classes in local rec centers. We create a safe space to cook and learn in an unsafe environment. These are not fancy kitchens, but we make it work. Our classes focus on teaching how to cook a healthy version of what the kids would normally eat. We teach nutrition lessons, how to read a food label, safe cooking practices, kitchen hygiene, and life skills. We also discuss our lives as college students with the teens, giving them a sense of mentorship. Each RICO session is 6 weeks long with the 2-hour weekly course, and we hold these 3 sessions a year. We know RICO works. We have pilot data from the last 3 years showing that students are learning, their attitudes toward healthy food are improving, and we see changes in their behavior. Some teens have talked about pursuing food careers. Others have even started a cooking Instagram teaching the lessons that we're teaching them. So with your help, we want to grow RICO, to reach a broader group of teens while providing real-world experience to CSUN students in a sustainable, community-based way. We are requesting $200,000 over a 3-year period. This funding will support long-term infrastructure such as ovens, refrigerators, knives, pots and pans, you know, the things that you need to teach a cooking class. It will support individual materials to improve, it will support materials to improve the quality of our classes, including individual cookbooks and teaching supplies. It will also support our research. We think what we're doing works. Our pilot data looks like we're making a difference. We're partnering with education and food science students and faculty to evaluate the impact of RICO. We are not asking for money for staff or food. RICO is a student-run volunteer organization. Our food is currently supplied through a CSUN-based grant, and we're establishing relationships with local grocery stores to sustain our program. We average 40 teens per session, and they go home and cook for their families. They share their lessons with their friends. So we estimate that we impact around 500 lives annually. Through your support, we can really measure our success and continue to expand our reach. Remember Liz, there are lots of teens like her in LA. We want to introduce you to some like her that RICO has already impacted. We know these teens. We were them, and now we're empowering them. So please join us to get RICO cooking. And then I want to invite my team up to join me. We're happy to take any of your questions.
I'm not going to wait for Sandy to tell me it's okay to talk. That was amazingly better. Amazingly better.
You gotta memorize it.
Yeah.
I know you've only had it for a week, but you gotta memorize it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I didn't see last time I wasn't here, last 2 weeks ago or whenever it was, but from the last time to now, I have a way better understanding of what the program is doing, which is awesome. I love that little carrot. It's very cute. I know you didn't design it, but it's really cute. I like that you use it later in that image to like show your reach. I think that's really cute. A couple things. I don't know if I'm just going to.
No, go ahead. Go
Just
ahead.
have the time first. Just
Yeah.
The time was 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
So you have a little bit of time. Yeah.
Yeah, but the video is 45 seconds.
We trimmed it down to 30.
Okay, but that's still total time. There's no extra time.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
But,
So.
but you're within time.
she's in time. It's like 4:45.
Yeah, it was in time, and I don't think it felt rushed. What I was going to say at the beginning, just the timing of your slides, like the picture with the girl and the way you tell the story now is awesome. And then when you say, and that's where reinventing it, that was like the name of that. Thank God there's an acronym, which is RICO, because that's a lot of big words. And so as soon as you're about to say that, go to that slide that sets up RICO and has all the little logos around it.
On the slides.
Okay, because it was a little, the timing was off, so you were like 10 seconds in or 20 seconds into talking about RICO, and then that's like,
right after that.
okay. So definitely that would be helpful. And then I don't know if I would reduce the number of slides that you have of the pictures of the folks cooking, but they were happening every like 2 seconds. So by the time I was like, oh look, there they went. Oh, and then there's they're gone. So maybe either just do fewer and have them up for longer, or you could have 2 up and leave it up for like 10 seconds or something, or just narrow it down to 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, because again, you kind of get the point without them happening every 2 seconds. And then the last slide, or second to last slide, the one where you talk about like what you're going to use the money for. Yeah, so that was very clear. But then you talk about research and evaluation, which I think is really important. But that's not up there.
Well, it's
Is it?
it's-
Oh, the research is done.
but it's not an operating cost.
But yeah, so that so that didn't.
Yeah, I
missed it.
Yeah, I would put research as on the same level as operating costs and fixed costs, and then just say that it's a student, it's sustained. You don't need to show that. I would just move research up there and get rid of the sustained one.
Actually, so Lauren, that's actually not sustained. That's really volunteer.
Yeah.
And I do think it's a good idea for them to make it clear that this is a labor of love for the students. Is it course credit also?
No.
Well, I got one yes and one no.
I'm sorry. There's one class that requires community engagement.
But it's not, this isn't part of it.
Yeah.
So it's an option to use that as your
Okay,
hours.
but this does fulfill your community engagement requirement.
It could.
It could, but it doesn't have to.
Yes.
Right, okay. So I would still call that a volunteer effort. I wouldn't put it, I would put research, I agree with whoever, at the same level of fixed costs and operating costs. And don't answer that question, because that's one of the things you're asking for. And I would put the volunteer effort perhaps in a separate oblong, like being clear it's not part of your P&L, because it is really a labor of love.
So you could think about just rearranging this a little bit. You can make it all fit on there, and you can make it fit in a lovely way that's not completely overwhelming. Or you can even collapse some of them, like kitchen equipment and tools and utensils. Even though those are 2 separate things, if you had to make it one, like kitchen supplies, because you say we need larger equipment.
You're going to need to. You've got a bunch of green space on top that you're not using, and I agree with just a little bit of work. You'll be able to make that.
Yeah, you can make
You're
it.
the main editor on this, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Without collapse.
So I think your teammates should definitely focus on the slide suggestions and information suggestions that everybody else is talking about. I think you should definitely focus on memorizing it. That should be your job right now, because everything sounds really good, and you kept it together. I know I can tell you got a little bit nervous when you got deeper into it, because you probably were less familiar with those parts deeper into it. But a tip I can give for you for memorizing it and not getting too caught up with what's on the slides is to, when you're memorizing it, try to act as though there's no presentation, like that doesn't even exist. So how would you be able to present this if you had no visuals backing it up. Besides that video playing, right? But you really should be able to give this presentation without a PowerPoint slide deck. And since you're still memorizing it, I would go into it like that, so you don't get distracted by like, oh, I wonder what the slide's going to be, because you really should just focus on memorizing it.
Right, especially because if Maria's running the slides, you don't need to worry about it. Just focus on the text.
And that's why you can be walking back and forth.
Yep.
And you know, when you're on this side, you're saying this. When you're on that side, you're saying that. So it keeps you aware of where you are in your script.
Okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I feel like your cadence and like the way you talk is super engaging. So hopefully, like while you're practicing it, try
I
not to
practice it the exact same way.
Yeah, exactly. That to me, like, it didn't matter if you messed up as much because I was so engaged in what you're saying, and I really believe that like you're doing this and you like feel it. So I thought that part was really good, even though it wasn't memorized.
Thank you. And also sound of the voice.
So I have a couple things. You have a green blank slide that.
That's where we're putting something else in.
Okay, because for the audience.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned they don't have a car to go to Gelson's and Trader Joe's, and I'm going, well, I'm not quite sure why that's in there, because that's to purchase food, that's not to create your food, and they don't have the money anyway, so to go to Ralph's or any other store, so why would they be focusing on Trader Joe's and Gelson's? So unless I missed the point of those words, I was like, wait, where does that fit in? I mean, I may have missed it, so if I missed it, tell me why.
Well, it's just the point is that generally in the inner city neighborhoods, the grocery store is like I don't want to say.
It's a food
It's
desert.
a food desert. So
right.
you have to travel generally to a neighboring city to go to another grocery store, and I mean, I myself would prefer to go there. So
She lives in a food desert and doesn't have a car to go elsewhere.
okay.
It's 10 seconds
Right.
instead of 30, and not you don't mention any brand names. You remember, you don't know who's in the audience.
And I think that actually could help with the sustainability, because on the one hand, like, I too love Trader Joe's, right? But I also know that, like, when I lived in Highland Park and there was like a little Uno market, which was literally like a completely one-off little market, all they have is vegetables there, which is awesome. So if you needed to cook healthy, they had cheap, easy to get vegetables, right? So I would make a case for how can they use the resources that are even in their neighborhoods when they are available, right? So on the one hand, there's food deserts. On the other hand, sometimes you just have little one-off markets that do have some veggies, right? And so you're, to her point, you're teaching them how to use them, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is, when you were going through what you have in your RICO slide, I was waiting for you to say, or for me to see, where the food was coming from. So RICO is to do this, you need money for fixed costs, you need operating costs, and it wasn't until like, a minute, or it seemed like a minute later, that then you brought in, well, we don't need money for food or labor because we've got students and donations. But because I didn't see it on there, I was going, okay, so where's the food coming into all of this? So I started to write, and then as you were talking, then you brought in the food. So I think as a judge, I might be saying, well, wait a minute. And so I'm not quite listening to you because I'm thinking of, wait, I have a question, where's the food coming from?
Do you think it would make more sense to start off with what you do have, and then I don't know, like, would it make more sense to say, right now this program is, run, we have food donations and we have student-run volunteers, but to keep it going in a lot, or to grow this program, here's what we're going to need. And so then maybe that answers that question up front.
I think so, because, here's a program all around food, and you were asking for money for this, this, and this, and I'm going, where's the food coming from? And then you brought the food in. So maybe, like you say, Jacqueline, if you start off with, we got this, but we need help here.
Yeah. So
Rather than, we need help
swapping it.
here, but we've got this. The questions, when you said I'll take questions at the end, I don't think you should say that because we're not doing questions from the general audience.
From the judges.
Yeah, but the judges will know that.
There's no need for the speaker to take any of their time to announce that because that's the SOP.
And because if I'm in the audience and you said I'll take questions now, my hand's going to go up from the audience, and you know, I don't want there to be an option for the audience to jump in. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing is, I didn't see on your slide how much you're asking for. And where are you going to put that?
Do it on that slide, you everything up, put it at the bottom.
I mean, you could put, we've got the volunteers and we've got the food, but now we need this, and this is going to pay for that.
That sounds good.
And then that has to be not lump sum to, I want 200 for these 5 things. It's where's it going? And what are you really going to be measuring?
So I have to break it down on the slide.
Depends how the slide is laid out. I mean,
It doesn't have to be on the slide, but I still don't know what you're doing with 200 grand of my money.
right. Because you already show in your pictures, go back to some of the pictures, you already show kitchen equipment, you show pots and pans, you show this and that. And I know you're saying you want to expand this, but you already have a lot of this, so then I'm saying, okay, so you need 200,000 to get what else? Because I'm seeing stoves, I'm seeing pots and pans. If you say we want to spread this to additional locations and we need stoves and things like that, then it's very clear what all that money is going towards. What's one other thing? I guess that's it. I mean, altogether, it was so improved. It was so much more cohesive. It was much clearer about what you're doing and what you're asking for. And I think it's really come a long way. So I think by the day of the presentation, it'll be great.
Just some suggestions on the slides, on the layout. The one with the cost. So you can just say equipment and just say operation, so less words. And then you have the food and the student volunteers. Maybe you can put that up top. So you're showing RICO has already mobilized the students, the food. Now we just need this. Boom. And then the next slide. So maybe you should. This seems like you guys are working with you're distributing to the food, the markets, as opposed to the markets are already working with you.
Yeah.
So maybe that up top, RICO in the center, and then all the students or some graphic.
And then put
of all the carrots, I don't know.
No, that's a good. No, that's a good point.
And then put this slide before your ask slide, because this is you already have your students. You have your picture of your group, your students, and the food is coming in from these people to RICO. Now this is what we need for operations and things like that.
What's the value of the food you're getting now annualized?
So it varies, because we went from one location to 3
In like a year.
Wow.
So
Okay, so in the last 12 months or 6 months, what's about the number? Do you have any idea?
Was it like 2,000?
I think so.
2,000 per year, per month, per 6 months?
I think
It's been like, I want to say almost a cycle.
Because 2,000 a year is basically 3 bags of groceries a month. From 3 or 4 bags of groceries a month in total. Does that sound about right for volume?
Kind of, yeah. Because, I mean, like each site only has, one site has dramatically grown, dramatically, and then the other 2 are still developing.
Okay, the one site that has had good business development efforts, what's that size at? I'm trying to figure out what's the most impressive, truthful thing you can say about community support for your efforts, which brings credence and validation to your organization.
What's your ask right now?
200.
So just say our target is to mobilize $100,000 worth of groceries. And this is to accelerate it, you know, whatever. So our target, we've already, you got Ralph's and some major food supermarkets, and just say we've already mobilized the students. We got commitments, pending commitments of $100,000 worth of food.
Wait, we need to hear that from
Not 100.
How much? I mean.
Well, see, the thing is we're actually trying to develop relationships with them so we can get donations for the food.
Oh, you haven't gotten the commitments?
No, right now we have a grant. So.
Okay. So the grant is from CSUN.
Yes.
For the amount of.
I'm not sure the amount.
I'm not sure.
Check with
Yeah.
Dr. Herman.
Dr. Herman about it. Yeah.
So you want to know the amount. You want to know what those 4 for-profit companies are allocating to you for their community donations line item. So every corporation that donates doesn't just do it out of the goodness of their heart. If they're not-for-profit, they like the endowment, obviously they have a larger obligation, but even for-profits use donations as a tax offset.
Right.
And so it's rude to say, can I see your tax return? They're not going to do that well. But you can ask Dr. Herman, because she probably knows what their official allocation of your donations are. And by the way, if they don't jive with what you're getting, let Dr. Herman know that.
One quick thought, sorry. I really like the patient story and how you closed, bringing it back to the patient. I thought that was super effective. One request, I'm a visual learner, and when you were speaking to some of the outcomes of your early programs and pilots, it'd be great to summarize that on a slide. Because then to our conversations around impact, I can have that as an anchor in my mind about what am I getting for the $200,000 potentially. And then if you could also have the slide that talks about like that projected impact at the end. With this money, we're going to be able to reach X number of more, potential families and clients, or something like that. That way, or I don't know if you're going to have a slide at the end, or you want that to be part of the conversation. That is going to be a question that, because you have a lot of grantors that are on the panel, right? Mm-hmm. So that's going to be one of their first questions. So you can add it to this slide, but this is your current impact, right? This isn't the projected with the grant fund. So if you had something along those lines, I think that might be helpful.
Okay. And while we're talking about outcomes, all three of what you listed were nice things, doing nice things for nice people. See if there's anything that has been measured in the history of the program that's objective, that has a real number associated with it. So saying that food attitude is improved, how? What scale did you use? How was it measured?
You guys have validated tools. Yes.
Okay, so find the name of the tool, tell me what the score was at baseline, tell me what it improved to.
So we're working on the data slide because we just finished the cycle yesterday, and so we're adding that.
I don't care if the data is 3 months old, and no one in the audience will care either. Just you can switch the numbers in the presentation. At a point, it goes from a 3.4% increase to 3.9. Frankly, no one's going to care.
Okay. There's also another tip. If there are parallel programs in which this is being demonstrated in the U.S. and different places, I volunteer for very similar one in Boston, for instance. So that's been like a long-running program. So you can draw parallels between other existing programs and the impact that they've seen, and say like you can replicate that here in Los Angeles, and that also gives you the ability to
So overall, you guys have done a huge jump.
Yeah.
So you're really close to getting there.
18.
You're an outstanding speaker, by the way. I think you have the opportunity to be like very powerful. And, like,
Yeah, you're doing. Keep it up, and we'll talk again. Yeah.